William Morrow and HarperAudio present Blood, Sweat, and Chrome, the wild and true story of Mad Max Fury Road by Kyle Buchanan. Read by Fred Berman, Aspen Vincent, Dan Bittner, Derek Perkins, Eva Kaminsky, Fiona Hardingham, Gary Furlong, George Newbern, Ione Butler, Jason Culp, Jeff Gurner, Katherine Littrell, Leon Nixon, Lisa Flanagan, Malk Williams, Michael Crouch, Polly Lee, Ralph Lister, Robin Miles, Samuel Roukin, and Will Watt. A note before we begin. For a complete cast of characters and a list of sources, be sure to download the accompanying enhancement PDF from your audiobook provider. Or go directly to www.harpercollins.com/audio/blood, sweat, and chrome. Author's note. In the world of Mad Max, a memory can become a legend based simply on who's doing the telling. Stories from the past are passed down from history men to their eager listeners, and as these tales are told and retold, the truth of what really happened is left up to the audience to piece together. This oral history about the 2-decade making of Mad Max Fury Road is primarily comprised of over 130 new interviews I conducted with members of the cast and crew, as well as a number of the film's notable admirers. Most of these conversations took place in 2020 and 2021, though a handful of the interviews occurred around the time of the film's release in 2015. Whenever people were unavailable to speak, I pulled from other published interviews, audio recordings, and video footage to provide additional perspectives. Many of the interviews have been condensed and edited for style and clarity, and a full list of sources is at the end of the book. Part 1. Building a World Gone Mad. Introduction. For 55 million years, the Namib Desert has been where things go to die. Thought to be the oldest desert on the planet, it's a barren wasteland, almost completely devoid of human life. A place where the coastline is still studded with the remains of 1,000 shipwrecks. And in September 2012, it was where Mad Max Fury Road would crash and burn. Nearly 10,000 miles separate that South African desert from Los Angeles, but midway through Fury Road's very long 2012 shoot, plenty of stories about the troubled production had already made their way back to the Hollywood rumor mill. Was it true that the film was wildly behind schedule and over budget because its mercurial lead, Tom Hardy, often failed to show up to set? Had a massive blow-up between Hardy and his co-star Charlize Theron required an outside intervention just so the film wouldn't collapse? And what the hell was George Miller making anyway? Though the director had spent months filming Fury Road in Namibia, the footage he'd sent back to Warner Brothers left many executives freaked out. The dialogue sounded incomprehensible, the action scenes appeared astonishingly dangerous, and since Miller wasn't working from a traditional screenplay, instead, in an unprecedented move, he had plotted the film out solely through storyboards, studio executives worried that Fury Road would make no sense once it was cut together. If this expensive boondoggle turned out to be a box office bomb, forget just losing their jobs. They might never work in Hollywood again. Jeff Robinoff, the bald and beleaguered head of Warner Brothers Pictures, had been sending underlings to the desert to check on Fury Road ever since the movie's June start. But during the last week of September, Robinoff himself flew over to Namibia to take control. The production was based in a massive tent city in the middle of the desert, a troubled oasis where several hundred crew members now waited to learn their film's fate. The first person Robinoff encountered there in the sands was P.J. Votan, Fury Road's loyal producer and first assistant director. "We're going to finish this film with or without George," Robinoff told him. Under his breath, Votan muttered, "Good luck with that." Eventually,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?